Hi, my name is Kiana Brown. I am an environmental health specialist and personal advocate for healthy foods. Today, I will discuss with you, the residents of Pulaski County, about the pros and cons of eating organic versus local foods. I have provided a brief outline of what I will discuss in today's presentation. First, I will provide a brief description of both organic and local foods. This is where I will provide background details for each and give a brief definition. I will also discuss the pros and cons of choosing organic versus local foods. Next, I will discuss cost and how this can affect one's decision to eat healthier. I will also provide some health risk factors for organic and local, along with the national standards and guidelines from OSHA, as well as the FDA. I have provided a summary or overview, if you will, that will conclude my findings. What is local food? Unlike organic standards, there isn't a specific definition for local foods. Locally farmed food is not going to come from large commercial companies, but local produce generally comes from local farmers within your area and oftentimes sold in smaller grocery stores or farmers markets. Local food is harvested when ripe and thus fresher and full of flavor. During large portions of the year, it is usually possible to find food grown close to home at places such as farmers markets. It could be grown in your local community, your state, your region, or your country. By focusing your diet on products grown and raised within 100 miles of your home, you will likely end up eating more fruits and vegetables as well. Shopping for fruits and vegetables at a farmer's market is also pleasurable and may lead to more variety in your diet. Eating local often means you can meet the people who produce your food, and you also get to ask questions about pesticide use and farming methods. What is organic? The term organic refers to the process of how certain foods are produced. Organic foods have been grown or farmed without the use of artificial chemicals, hormones, antibiotics, or genetically modified organisms. In order to be labeled organic, a food product must be free of artificial food additives. Organically grown crops tend to use natural fertilizers like manure to improve plant growth. Animals raised organically are also not given antibiotics or hormones. Organically, farming tends to improve soil quality and the conservation of groundwater. It also reduces pollution and may be better for the environment. In this slide, I will discuss the pros and cons of eating local foods. By choosing food produced locally, you are supporting your community and you help keep local producers in business. More money goes directly to the farmer instead of things like marketing and distribution. When food is picked and eaten at the peak of freshness, it not only retains more nutrients, it also tastes better. Local farms offer more variety, which you might not find at a local supermarket. Local foods create community connections. Getting to know your local growers can help you build meaningful human connections. Cons to local foods are increased health risk. Air pollution can also cause harm to crops. Pathogen outbreaks such as E. coli and Salmonella, and also pesticide residue found in grown produce. Next, I will discuss pros and cons of eating organic foods. After several hours of researching, I discovered many people are seeking organic foods due to health concerns, avoiding synthetic toxins, better taste, desire for food connection with food sources, and also environmental concerns. Organic foods are often fresher. Organic produce contains fewer to no pesticides, and organic foods are more nutritious. The downside to purchasing organic foods or produce would be the cost. Organic foods typically cost more than their conventional counterparts. Higher prices are due in part to more expensive farming practices. In this slide, I will discuss the cost of eating locally versus organic. Local food is now a mainstream trend, with more people seeking out fresh, local options for produce and other foods. More restaurants are sourcing locally grown ingredients as well, often using the term farm to table. Over the last decade, sales of sustainable, natural, and organic products have increased by 20% per year. Organic products tend to be 20% more in cost than local produce. One thing to consider when discussing cost would be how many supermarkets versus how many farmers markets are there in your city or on your way home. I know for me personally, there's only one fresh market near my home, and there are several Walmarts or Krogers en route to my home. The convenience of stopping at a supermarket versus a fresh market is also something to consider when discussing cost and accessibility. In this slide, I will discuss the health risk associated with local and organic foods. Based on the information I found during my research, I've determined that there are no single health risks associated with either of the two because both local and organic foods have acute and chronic effects. Some acute health risks are headaches, birth defects, and developmental delays. However, these can be found in either local or organic foods. Chronic effects can be caused by or result in different types of cancers, weakened immune systems, and also motor dysfunctions. So, what does this mean? Buying local or organic food is a personal choice that is based on health and education. And eating local or organic can cause the same health risk. Now that we've discussed some acute and chronic health risks associated with local and organic foods, in this slide I will discuss in detail more health diseases and how eating non-local or inorganic foods can cause long-term health effects. Heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity are a few health risks that I want to discuss in this slide. Being overweight or obese can increase your risk for heart disease. Heart disease generally refers to conditions that include narrowed or blocked blood vessels that can lead to a heart attack, chest pain, or stroke. High blood pressure often has no symptoms. Over time, if untreated, can cause serious health conditions such as heart attack, coronary artery disease, or angina. High blood pressure is when your blood pressure, the force of your blood pushing against the walls of your blood vessels, is consistently too high. The damage generally starts in your arteries and your heart. Diabetes is a disease that occurs when your blood sugar is too high. Another way to define diabetes is the condition in which the body does not properly process food for the use of energy. According to the CDC, diabetes is the seventh leading cause of death in the United States. Diabetes can cause serious health complications including heart disease, blindness, kidney failure, and lower extremity amputations. Symptoms of diabetes include unexplained weight loss, frequent urination, extreme hunger, sudden vision changes, very dry skin, sores that are slow to heal, and more infections than normal. Consuming more fresh produce, organic or conventional, such as fruits and vegetables, has been a consistent link to weight loss because they are high in fiber and nutrients, which can help control the appetite. Obesity rates can be reduced and prevented by consuming healthier food choices. Of course, physical exercise has to also be included. However, getting your diet under control can sometimes be the most challenging. Eating fruits and vegetables are the main factors to a healthy diet, whether they're local or organic. Overall, obesity leads to shorter lifespans, lower quality of life, and many numerous chronic medical problems. In this slide, I will discuss the OSHA guidelines. What is OSHA? OSHA, abbreviated for Occupational Safety and Health Act, is to assure safe and healthful working conditions for working men and women by setting and enforcing standards and by providing training, outreach, education, and assistance. OSHA highlights the quality of food and controls used to prevent foodborne diseases, which are primarily regulated by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, known as the FDA, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, known as the CDC, and local public health authorities. I thought it would be important to include OSHA as it highlights the prevention of foodborne diseases. In this slide, I will define the FDA. The FDA is the United States Food and Drug Administration. The Produce Safety Rule establishes mandatory science-based minimum standards for the safe growing, harvesting, packing, and holding of fruits and vegetables grown for human consumption. These standards are designed to work effectively for food safety across the wide diversity of produce farms. What this means is that farms covered by the rule will be held to certain standards designed to reduce the presence of potentially dangerous bacteria in the food supply, with the ultimate goal of reducing the number of illnesses caused by contaminated produce. In summary, we've defined organic versus local foods and also discussed the pros and cons of both. We discussed how cost can determine what we choose to eat or how healthy we really want to be. Although the health risks were commonly the same, eating local or organic is much healthier than fast foods or the produce and foods we buy in our local supermarkets. We've provided substantial background in regards to the FDA as well as the OSHA regulations. I want you to remember, healthy living is determined by what we put in our bodies. In this slide, I have provided the reference list. Here I have listed all resourceful references with information pertaining to this presentation. I hope you find this information helpful, and thank you for your immediate assistance.